Hey, what's going on? Of course, to all of my alternative book snobs out there is me, Amira Blaze, and welcome back, guys, to another fine episode of Bookshade. So, for today's episode, guys, we're going to continue our journey through my I would say my organized bookshelf TBR. So what I did was I organized my bookshelf to reflect my TBR. And for those of you who are not familiar with that acronym, TBR stands for to be read. So it's just my reading list of books that I want to complete. So this was highly requested by you guys as the alternative book snobs, and you guys wanted for me to, of course, read first Black Dagger Brotherhood. So I bought the whole collection so far. I know there's a new book that's going to be coming out soon, so I'll get that as well. And so far it's okay. You know, maybe I need to read a couple more books in and then things start to get a little more interesting. But right now I am on book 3, which is called Lover Awakened. And of course I'm doing some this is another thing I'm going to be doing called Books and Makeup, where I do a look based on the book cover that I'm currently reading. So this is my look for this book right here, and this is Lover Awakened. So that's why I have this unique look today to start it off. This is like my first time, guys, having this type of hair color though. Let me know in that vicious, brutally honest comment section below what you think about my new look here. I like it, actually. I like the little kind of, okay, this was a shake and go wig, okay? I got it from Amazon, actually. I just took it out and shook it up and just put it on. I need to style it, like I need to do some waves and stuff to it, so that'll be in the future. But I'm sorry, guys, I had a lot that happened to me today. I took a really nasty fall, so if I'm like clearing my throat or if I seem a little bit off, that's just because I was helping my mom and I was outside and I tripped on something and I just went boop and I fell. So that's why if I look like I'm like, that means I'm a little bit in pain, but you know, this is the dedication, guys, that I do, because you know I gotta do the show today and I was running behind. So this is my makeup episode. I do the show twice a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So special announcement, guys, to start it off here, and that is, guys, I am making this announcement that I am going to be playing Otome games on Bookshade. So since my show is focused on literature and we talk about paranormal romance, historical fiction, and eventually we'll get their webtoons, which are pretty much comics from South Korea that really rock, I felt that it was appropriate because Otome games, you have to like read them as you play, and I thought that would be fun, and I can do all the voices for the characters and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make that announcement. I'm going to be playing Otome games. If you're not familiar with them, they are romance games that come from Japan, and you are a protagonist, and then you pick your love interest, and then you see how their story unfolds. And there are tons of them, so I just felt that that would kind of add something a little bit different to the show besides me talking about books, because I think that would get a little bit boring for you guys. So I like to try to, you know, switch it up. So I'll be focusing on Otome games as well. And the one that we're going to start off with, guys, is one that's super, super awesome, very popular. It is called Ikemen Vampire. Because you know me, I love the vampires. Yes, okay? No, I'm being extra, but I love me some vampires. So yeah, vampires are so hot. But I figured that would be appropriate since, you know, I've been talking about and reading vampire romance. Like, let's play a vampire romance Otome game. I think that would be really cool. So that's going to be starting, guys, coming up next week, Wednesday. So we'll kick that off and get started with that Let's Play. Coinciding that, I'll continue to do these what I like to call reading vlog challenges, where I take a readathon and I apply it to my my reading vlog. So right now I'm doing Series Crackdown and Read-a-Thin, which are both currently going on. And guys, I'm doing pretty well. I've actually read 3 books in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series here. And then I just finished my first book in the Vampire Kisses series by Ellen Schreiber. That's really fucking good. It's like really, really good, mature YA book series, but very, very good nonetheless. I was quite surprised because you guys know I really could care less about YA, but I do have some series like Vampire Diaries and Vampire Kisses. I have like maybe 2 or 3 other series that really stand out, but they're mature YA. So that's the only reason why I give it somewhat of a pass. But all right, guys, let's not waste any time. It is time for me to do this reading vlog reaction. It is a vampire romance reading vlog reaction to, of course, we are going to start my reaction and I'll be reading through, of course, book 3, Lover Awakened by J.R. Ward. Now, here's the premise of the story so far. So it seems that each one of these books up to this point is covering like the formation of the romance for each individual brother within the brotherhood. So we went through Dark Lover, which was a story of how Raph and Beth got together. Then we went through the second book where we talked about Rage and of course his love interest. And now this is what I'm looking forward to because I have a thing for Zadis. Yes, okay. Within that gothic heart, there's some happiness there. Okay, there's some kind of emotion. But this book is the story of Zadis and how he kind of came to be who he is today. He's very emotionally cold and yeah, he's a very interesting guy, but he seems to be a romantic. There's some type of romance in that heart. But this is the story between Zadis and his love interest, that is Beth. So I am very excited. I got my book stand. Of course, guys, I have the most appropriate bookmark here. See, I'm keeping with the theme. Coordination. I'm a mess, guys. And of course, we have River. Hey, River, welcome to the show. And you know what? To ask your question, since you want to go there, this is a question before we start here, guys, because I'm the type that I like to address things head on. And then after that, I'm not going to address it anymore. And if it keeps being brought up, you're going to get ignored. And that's the bottom line. So River asked me if I am a man or a woman. Okay, now number one, this is something that I shouldn't have to address, but because I get a lot of shit for this and sometimes it gets downright annoying, I'm gonna address it anyway because that's just the type of person that I am. So for your information, River, I am a cisgendered woman. I am a straight woman. I'm just a woman that has a little bit deeper resonance in her voice. I have sounded like this for most of my life. This is the voice that God gave me, and this is the voice that I have to accept because it is who I am. And this is not me trying to be disrespectful, River, but I will say it is rude to ask someone if they are a man or a woman, because that means that it's really like a sign of disrespect. Like you just don't have regards, you know, for human decency. So this is the first time and the last time that I'm addressing it. But yes, I was born female. I'm a straight woman. Okay. And when you also ask questions like that, and this is just for your information in the future, in case you want to do this to someone else, I just want to let you know that there are people who are a part of the LGBTQIA community. And in part of that acronym, there are people who identify as trans, okay? And this is also a problem, unfortunately, that I have to deal with as well, is that a lot of times I have people, when they ask me if I'm a man or a woman, they're implying that I am transgender. So for your information as well, and anybody else who wants to ask this type of question that is rude, it is, okay? I am not transgendered. I am a straight woman, okay? And when you imply that someone is transgender, it's offensive, because there are people in society who are transgendered people, and they deal with a lot of teasing and, unfortunately, a lot of opposition because of them being who they are. Okay, so when you call a straight woman transgendered, or if you're questioning a cisgendered born female woman, it is rude. And then the second thing too is you're also causing issues for people who are a part of the LGBTQIA community. So this is no disrespect. You know, it's not, I'm not taking offense to it partially, but I just want to inform you that these are real issues that do affect that community. And when you are misgendering someone, you could potentially cause problems for them. So I just want to let you know that it's not funny, because I know some people think it's funny to make fun of women with deeper voices and imply that they're transgendered, or imply that they're, oh, you must, you know, what are you, you know? But I just want to clarify that. But for me, you know, I've always been a person that I accept people for who they are. And I've had to do research on this on my own, not only because I consider myself an ally to the LGBTQIA plus community and other misrepresented cultural groups as well. I just want to inform you, River, and this is not me trying to be extra, but I just want to let you know that you don't want to do that to someone in the future. If you misgender someone, you could potentially put them in a bad position. And when you misgender someone, it can cause problems for them. So I just want to let you know this. And also, you know, for anybody else who comes to my show, I'm going to say it one more time and then we're moving on. I am a cisgendered woman. I am a straight woman. And that's what I am. I was born female. There are women like myself who have deeper resonance in their voices. So for example, Michelle Visage from RuPaul's Drag Race, or Katharine Hepburn, you know, or you could even say, there's so many women, guys, that have deeper voices, but that doesn't mean that they're trans, and it doesn't mean that they were, you know, a man or whatever. It's very rude. It's very disrespectful. It does not only affect people who are part of the trans community, but then you're also causing issues for me as well. And it becomes problematic. And then people think, you know, I always, from time to time, I have people come to my show and say that. And it's very rude, and it is offensive. So I just want to let you know, maybe you didn't know, or maybe you did, but I'm just saying, in the future, you don't want to misgender someone. You definitely don't, because it's not a good thing to do. So just remember that. So, all right, moving on from that, not addressing it. The library is now closed. But guys, just remember, sometimes, you know, and this is the thing. I understand that there are different types of comedy and things like that. But once you start getting into like gender and here's the thing, gender and sexual orientation, they're two different things as well. So I had to educate myself on this, guys, because this is something that I constantly deal with, unfortunately. So not putting you on the spot, River, but I just wanted to educate you, so you're aware that when you say stuff like that, it's not a good thing and it can cause problems for people. Okay? Like, it can actually cause problems such as, you know, people like myself, I am constantly dealing with this. And not only because of me being an ally, but I had to educate myself on this, because when I would have someone call me transgender, I'm like, at first I was like, okay, what does transgender mean? And then once I learned about that, I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I am. That is not my gender orientation or my sexuality. That is not what I am. So yeah, this is offensive. So I'm just letting you know, River, it's not funny. It's not, you know, it can be offensive and it can also affect someone. It really can. And then people think it's okay to call straight women with deep voices, as an example, transgender. That's not what that is. Just because I have this voice, that doesn't mean that I'm transgender. So just wanted to educate you a little bit. And I don't know everything, of course. I don't represent the LGBTQIA community, so I cannot speak on everything, you know, that is part of the community. You know, I can't, because I don't, you know, I'm not a part of it. But because of people constantly asking me this question, I have had to do research on it so that I know how to address it when it comes up. But after today, I've said my answer on it and I'm not addressing it anymore. So I am a straight woman. I just have a deep voice. Okay? So I'm done with the foolishness. It's very rude to ask someone what gender they are. Very rude. And for those of you who think it's funny, it's not funny, because it does affect people. For a very long time, I didn't like how my voice sounded at all. You know, I didn't like how I looked or anything. And this is something that I'm still working on inside of myself. I have enough that I have to deal with already, and I just don't need to deal with this anymore. And I'm not going to. So if my gender or any question of why my voice sounds like this, if it comes up again, you're just going to be ignored, and I'm not addressing the question. I'm done. And I don't blame myself, because nobody deserves to constantly deal with this. If it's not my size, it's my voice. If it's not my voice, you know, it's what I'm wearing, or me being compared to other women. I'm here to be me, and I'm not here to compare myself to other women. You know, the way that I do my show is different than another female streamer. And yes, we're all, you know, yes, we're all women and we all enjoy doing this. But I'm sure, you know, like, for example, guys don't like being compared to other men, don't like being compared to other men, you know, and does it happen? Yeah. But women don't want to be compared to each other like that, because it's not a valid comparison. The only reason why I'm being compared is because I don't have that supermodel body that some of these female streamers have, and that's their aesthetic. I'm here, I'm a plus size woman of color. I'm here for the everyday, you know, adult gamer. That's the audience that I represent. And then I also represent the, alternative subcultures. So that's like, gothic culture, metalheads, punks, that type of stuff. People who feel like outsiders, adults who feel like outsiders. That's what I represent. I don't do this show to have my gender questioned. I do this show because I enjoy it. So, just to let you know. And with that, my friends, the library is closed. All right. So, let's go ahead, guys. We're going to start this reading sprint. And I also, guys, I was so lucky. I was able to get the audiobook. It took some time, but I got it and I'm excited. But guys, this book is a long read. For me, it's over 400 pages. I am going to be reading ahead because that's the only way I'm going to be keeping up. But I'll, next time I do an episode where I'm doing a reading vlog, then I'll catch you guys up with what's going on. So, this audiobook, guys, is 16 hours long. It's crazy. So for today, I'm hoping to get through the first 3 chapters, but we'll see how much I can get through. So without further ado, guys, let's get started doing this reading sprint. I have it on 20-minute increments, and let's see how much I can read of this. So it starts right now. So we have our reading sprint countdown, and it starts now. All right, let's do this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, guys, is with every book so far I've read in this series, they have a glossary. So I'm gonna read it so I know what terms are what. So I'll start off with that. And some of the terms I know because from the last 2 books. So there are some repeats. But there are some new terms, guys. There's avenge, which is a verb, is the act of mortal retribution, and it's usually carried out by a male loved one. Another new term here is like contest. And that's a conflict between 2 males competing for the right to be a female's mate. And they do explain it when it comes up too, which is good. Okay, first family, that's another new term. This is the king and queen of the vampires. And we have the guardian, which is a custodian of an individual. And there's different degrees of guardians, but the most powerful is a Sletklude female. Then there's Glymera, which is the social core of the aristocracy. And it's roughly equivalent to the Regency. Okay, the Regency era. Okay. I love this term Leland. Leland means dearest one. Raft calls Beth Leland a lot. Alright, I know that one. Okay, new term here. There's Mamen, which means mother. So that's another term of affection. And then you have Nala, which is an adjective. That's the meaning for beloved. Now, this is another important term that will come up. It's called the kneading period. So this is when a female vampire is most fertile, and it lasts for like 2 days. And It's also accompanied by like intense like sexual cravings. So this happens 5 years after a female vampire goes through her transition, and then it doesn't come until like once a decade. So the men have to respond if there is a female that is going through this needing period, and especially if the female is not mated. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, so that all those terms I remember. Okay, so this is a new term. This is seclusion. It says status conferred by the king upon a female of aristocracy as a result of a petition by the female's family. It says places the female under the sole direction of her guardian, typically the eldest male in her household. Her guardian then has the legal right to determine all aspects of her life. Well, that's really shitty. Restricting at will any and all interactions she has with the world. So you better hope you have a good guardian. All right, new term also here is sympath. So this is a species within the vampire race categorized by the ability and desire to manipulate emotions in others for the purposes of energy exchange, among other traits. Historically, they have been discriminated against, and during certain eras hunted by vampires, they are rare, so they're near to extinction. The best way to call a sympath is an energy vampire. So it's a vampire feeding off of energy and some other abilities here. All right, and then you have Tali, which is adjective for darling. Okay, so another term too that's common in this series too is walker. It's an individual who has died and returned from the Fade. Okay, so the Fade, the best way, guys, that I can describe the Fade is like kind of like the afterlife. But in some aspects, the Fade to me is like more like a purgatory in a way too, because it depends on also how like I feel like the scribed version has like something to do with that maybe, but I might be wrong. Okay, and then another new term here is ward, which is the equivalent, sorry guys, is the equivalent of a godfather or godmother to an individual. So, all right, so we got a couple new terms, but besides that, all right guys, let's get started here. I'll probably try to finish chapter 1 or chapter 2, but if I start getting tired, I'm just gonna stop at whatever point. All right, so let's get started here with chapter 1, guys. Oh, I am so sorry, guys. I got the wrong... Oh, no. I got the wrong... I can't believe this, guys. I got the wrong audiobook. Unbelievable. I cannot believe I got the wrong audiobook. I am having a day, guys. Really. But I was confused. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the beginning here. So let me see here. Alright, let me check something here. Alright guys, let me check something here. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop this. And I will be right back. I just want to make sure, guys, I have the right audiobook because I think I have the wrong audiobook. I'm so pissed. All right, give me a second here, guys. All right, guys. All right, sorry about this, but I got the wrong audiobook. I'm still waiting for the correct one. I thought I had the correct one, but it wasn't the correct one. So I'm going to start reading it anyway to get started, but it'll probably take some time before I could get the audiobook. So I'm gonna just read it anyway today and then continue. So I have had such a shitty week, guys. Like, this really sucks. All right, let's start right now. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my book stand here because I think that'll make it easier for me to read and I'm not, like, you know, hurting my neck. Let's see here. All right, so we do have the return, guys, of Mr. O. He is, it seems like he wants to probably keep Bella for himself because Bella probably reminds him of his I believe, yeah, dead girlfriend. I still can't believe I got the wrong audiobook though. I'm so pissed. But at least now I have it, so once I get to like cuz I got 2 of them. So once I get to that point, at least hopefully I'll have them. But see, I can feel myself getting tired now. Maybe it's just because of my fall that I had today. So I think I'm gonna try to read as much as I can and then call it an episode. I'm so sorry, guys. This episode was terrible today. I'm on page 8 right now. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna stop here because I can like feel myself like falling asleep here. So I think I'm gonna stop, and then I will do a like a makeup episode next week on Thursday. Just because I was like, I can feel myself falling asleep. I got the wrong audiobook, so I'm gonna get everything kind of, at least I did some. I stopped on page 10, which is not too bad. But this is what's happened so far. So we're right in the middle of the action with the Brotherhood, and they're in this car, and they got they were going and they found some more lessers and took them out. Also, you're reintroduced to Mr. O, who has Bella and is holding her captive. And then all of a sudden there was this random impromptu meeting with Mr. X just showing up, and he's like, I know you're hiding something. And then come to find out that Mr. O has a pet that keeps him company. And I'm at the point now where, well, to backtrack to, Zetas got one of the lessers and was like, hey, you know, tell me where she is, tell me where she is. And the lesser refused. So sorry, guys. The lesser refused, and he took him out, and they're still, you know, so Zetas is still looking for the lesser that took Bella, but he doesn't know who it is yet. And of course it's Mr. O, so I think he's gonna find out eventually. And then we have this, this is where I stopped, is we have this brief kind of interaction between Bella and Mr. O. And Mr. O wants Bella to call him, or he calls her his wife, when that's not the case. He thinks of Bella as the woman that he used to be with, but ended up passing away. So that's the gist, guys, of what's going on right now. But we're going to continue it next week, Thursday. Wednesday, though, will be the introduction to Ikemen Vampire as part of my, what I like to call, well, I have to come up with a name for the segment, but we're going to be playing some, well, I'll call it like Otomi Let's Plays. Yeah, there we go. Otomi Let's Plays. All right, guys, you can keep in touch with me the following ways. I am on Twitter and Instagram as well, which is at Bookshade and then the number 1. All right, guys, well, I am going to get out of here. I'm so sorry for the low quality episode today, but I thought I had the audiobook. Come to find out, I got the wrong one, and now I have to get that one. And then next week I'll probably start over again and go from there. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry for this bad episode. Hopefully you like my books and makeup look here today. Let me know what you think about it, but I'm gonna get out of here, guys. So like I always say, remember that reading is Halloween. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day.